I'm going to prove to you in this video that retail trading does not work. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to click on a random pair. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way back and we are going to go to the very beginning as far as we can go back, and we're going to use our replay mode here. And to prove that retail trading does not work, what we're actually going to do is we're going to try our best to trade like a retail trader. And instead of taking the trade in the direction we want, we're going to flip it and do the opposite. And we're going to see how profitable we can be just trading the opposite of a retail trade. So we're going to use things like trend lines, break and retest, breaks of trend lines, whatever we can think of that a retail trader would use. And we're going to do the complete opposite of it and just see how profitable we can become. So this is going to be kind of a fun experimental video just to show you guys that retail trading really doesn't work, and actually doing the opposite of retail trading will probably make you more profitable. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're going to go on the 1 hour time frame, and we're just gonna mark out random areas of trend lines. So we have a nice little trend going up here, and we have a new trend. Some could say this is a new trend for me here with these two lows. And we're gonna look to take a break of this trend. So we'll see here if price wants to break it, does not break it. So what could we do? We're gonna look for our area of support. Quite a famous trading strategy for a lot of retails is a break and retest. So if we see price break above this and come back into the zone, normally we would take a buy here as a retail trader, but we're gonna flip and do the opposite. So we are going to see if price can break that. It just does not. And we have a nice little break here of the trend line. So we can actually go ahead and we can take a trade here because we broke the trend line, right? And a lot of retail traders might think, okay, I'm going to take a sell right here. We broke the trend line, cool. We have a nice little retest of the zone, right? And what do you know? We could even say, okay, price came back up into our nice little golden zone here on the fib, right? Okay, cool. So we're going to take a sell right now. We're gonna put our stop nice and above, and we are going to target a nice little 1-to-1. We're just gonna use 1-to-1s for this video to make it not too complicated. Okay, so now here's the part we're gonna actually do the exact opposite. So now we're going to add a buy instead. We're gonna do the complete opposite here. Normally you'd be looking to sell here, and now we're gonna do the opposite. We're going to target that and target that. Cool. So one thing I remember a lot when I first started trading, I used to trade a lot of retail, and I would always place my trades and it would always do the complete opposite of what I wanted. I would take a buy, it would go for a sell, I would take a sell, and it would go for a buy. And I always used to think the market was just targeting specifically me, but now I realize that it's not targeting me, it's not targeting any specific person. It's just doing the opposite of what a lot of retail traders are actually doing. Okay, so cool, now we are in this trade. And as you can see, price goes down to profit a little bit. That's where a lot of traders would get excited. Okay, cool, we're in profit. And then next thing you know, see, maybe it kind of comes down. Okay, cool. So there we go. First trade we won, and a lot of retail traders would have lost right there. All right, on to the next trade. So just like that, I know it's only one trade, so we're gonna do a lot of trades. We're gonna test out random strategies that are retail based, and we're gonna see if we can make profit just doing the complete opposite, right? Okay, so now here we have a nice little break of this support area, and we're gonna see if price can come back and retest this area. So we're gonna set a nice little buy there, but we're gonna do the opposite. So normally, let's say we were to buy here, we'd probably have our stops below, our targets for a nice little 1-to-1, and now we are going to do the complete opposite. We're gonna take a short instead, right? We're gonna put our stops below. Actually, we'll even put it below this last low here, because usually some traders like to keep it nice and below that. So we'll put it right there. And once again, we'll do a nice little 1-to-1. Okay, cool. That is another trade we could possibly take. Let's see if we have anything else going on. We could adjust this trend line. Cool. So I think that's all for now. And we will see what happens here. Cool. So price comes up a little bit. Now comes right into our, oh, not quite. There we go. Now we're in the trade. And so here we took the opposite of what we normally take, which is a buy. And let's see what happens. Price once again runs up in a little bit of profit. And this is usually where a lot of traders, you know, get a little bit of euphoria. They're thinking, oh, you know, perfect strategy, blah, blah, blah. And we'll see if price continues. Boom. Look at that. Price continues straight down into our target, which would normally be a stop loss for a lot of traders. So yeah, it's another trade one right there. Cool. We will get rid of these now, and we will move on to the next trade. Okay, what else? It's hard to think like as a retail trader because I haven't traded retail in so long, but we're gonna try here to come up with some strategies. You know, a retail trader might take a sell here. So we had a major break of this major zone or whatever, major support. See, we have all this support here. Cool. So maybe we'll wait till price comes back up into our area. Okay, cool. Maybe we'll take a sell right here. And we will put our stops nice and above here. We'll put our targets down below, right? And then we'll actually do the opposite of that now. So we're going to take a buy. Targets, put our targets up here. And where would we target if we were a retail trader? We'd probably want to target this kind of low here, the support area. So we'll put a nice little target down here. Let's say this is what we're headed for, right? And then we'll make that a nice little 1-to-1. So this is our new trade here. We're just gonna say we entered right on this retest. Now let's see what happens here. Ooh. Wow, that was really close. So price came down, almost hit our stop loss, which would have been our take profit. This is where a lot of traders would end up holding on to their trades or think, oh, okay, it's gotta go higher, it's gotta go higher. It didn't hit our take profit. Oh wow, even comes down twice. Doesn't exactly hit our take profit. So you could say you might have taken your take profit there. You could say, you know, I don't know. Personally, I know a lot of traders would end up holding it. And look at that, just like that, you get stopped out of your trade. In this case, we ended up winning this trade. Almost hit our stop loss, but not quite. But notice how I put the take profit here, because a lot of traders would think, okay, this is a nice little resistance. And notice how it doesn't actually ever touch into that resistance that we marked out, right? Okay, so we won that trade. That one was kind of iffy, but that's okay. We'll continue here. What else can we do? Okay, here's another nice little example of a retail trade we could probably profit off of. Okay, nice. We have a nice little downtrend, right? And we also have this zone going on here. So this is a perfect little retail trade going on here. We have a break of this trend line. We have a break and a retest. This can't get any more retail possible. Another thing I want to point out too is this trade, you know, looking at it from an actual institution perspective, we had this little gap going on here that price has now filled. So there is no reason that price should continue higher, right? Overall, we're in this long-term downtrend. And see, notice how we've hit this top here and we filled this gap. We filled the imbalance. The market has now balanced itself back out. There is no reason for anyone to take a buy here, but a retail trader might think, okay, we broke this uptrend, this downtrend. We broke the structure. We have a nice little support going on now. Let's take a buy here. So they would probably take a buy here. Target even just the previous highs, for example, right? Because we have this resistance or whatever going on over here. Okay, cool. We're going to target that resistance and we are going to put our stop, you know, nice below this trend line. Okay, now we're going to flip it around. We're going to do the exact opposite. We're going to take a sell instead. We're going to put our stop up here and a nice little 1-to-1. Cool, let's take that trade. Let's see exactly what happens. Okay, nice. Price is going up into profit, right? And as you can see, straight down into our take profit, straight down to retail traders stop losses. So I'm going to show you one more example, but before I do, if you guys want to use the same broker as me, sign up with Hanko Trade. They offer 500 leverage with spreads as low as 0 pips. Sign up today. Link will be down in the description below. You can open up an account with as little as $10 too, which is really neat. Anyways, back to the video. Okay, so we're probably going to take a couple more trades here just to see what we can work with here. Let's clean some of this up. We'll start with a nice little fresh palette here just to see what we got going on. We have a nice little support going on here. Price has broken the support, so you know, we may see some retail traders take some sells. Let's see here. Okay, we've hit this resistance here. Maybe we'll take a buy, right? A buy would be good here actually, because we do have some imbalance going on here. Okay, maybe we'll do something like this. So we have that. We have support going on here. Maybe we will take a buy here. Okay, this does actually look like a good trade though, because we do have some imbalance to fill up here. And price has broken this lower high and is now retesting back into some liquidity. We could see price come back down here. So this actually does look like a pretty good trade that I would have taken. Just like that, price comes back into this liquidity and goes up. So you could say that a retail trader may have taken a trade here. Personally though, this is actually a good retail trade that I probably would have taken. So just to clarify, it's not that retail trading doesn't work, because in scenarios like this, you could win this retail trade. And this is why I actually didn't do the opposite, because this is actually happens to be fundamentally from an institution perspective a good trade as well. But these are also the kind of trades that would trick retail traders into thinking that what they're doing is working, and even though overall they could be losing over time, which can be really dangerous because you could happen to take a good trade with your strategy and think that the strategy is working really well, when overall over the long term it doesn't work that well. So let's just be fair. We'll say that this was a loss. Okay, we'll just say we lost this. Boom. Even though fundamentally I think that would have been a good trade, and as I called it out, it should have been. Okay, but we'll count it as a loss anyways. And what else can we do here? Okay, we'll say this was a nice little break, retest, and why not throw in a fib, right? Maybe we'll enter a buy down here on this nice little support going on here. Maybe we'll enter a buy there. Okay, price is just shooting away from that, so that is not going to work. Maybe we'll look for a trend line break. Maybe we'll look for a trend line break. Okay, nice. We have a nice little trend line break. And we know that it's broken the trend line. It's broken this little support or resistance here. So we have a nice little break and retest. We're going to look to take a sell here as a retail trader. And maybe we'll target somewhere down here and have our stop up here. Okay, cool. Now we're going to do the complete opposite of it once again. So instead we're going to take a buy here. Target above, stops there. And this is our new trade here. Cool. So we'll let this play out. We'll see exactly what happens. And price runs straight up into our take profit, which would have been, once again, a stop loss for a retail trader. So you guys get it. You understand. Retail trading doesn't work as well as most people think. It can work here and there if it happens to line up with some actual institutional ways that banks trade. And that can lead you into thinking that what you're doing is working, and you can get trapped in the cycle of your retail trades not working and you losing money over time. Now, the best thing you can do is actually learn how the institutions, how the banks trade, and to try to form your own strategy to work with a more fundamental and technical perspective from an institutional trade style. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching, and yeah.